Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Elizabeth Eleanor with Pause. And sometimes life is really intense, right? Sometimes there is lots going on, and I think that these days, that's for most of us. Most women that I know are busy as crap. Actually, most men are busy as crap as well, right? And so when there's a lot going on, we can often find ourselves in overwhelm, or we can get into bouts of stress and anxiety and all of those things, right? And just like any other time, those things can be a build up of emotion and past memories that our unconscious, that little part of ourselves, that's still running around like a child, that part of ourselves that gets caught up in the distractions from old patterns of behavior, right? Like old memories of when we couldn't cope with something. And so not only are you dealing with what's going on in the moment, but you're also dealing with the fact that your mind is going in and recognizing it from a past memory, a past experience, whatever it might be, and then bringing that into the present moment, and then finding yourself in a place of overwhelm, because you're not only dealing with the present moment, but you're dealing with the past moment and then projecting it into the future, right? So this is where mastery comes in. And it's been really interesting journey lately. So for those that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name's Elizabeth Eleanor. This is Pause. You're on our beautiful Facebook group, Wild Women Choosing Conscious Relationships, right? And that means a conscious relationship with yourself. So just recently I moved house. So I think it was in the start of November. We packed up a 3 split level house and moved all of our stuff into a two-story house, which was a feat and a half in itself. For some stupid reason, decided to do it without, like, because it was just it was only about 5 minutes away from where we were living. So we decided we were going to do the whole thing from our from scratch by ourselves. No truck, no nothing. It's like, why on earth? I vaguely remember, it's like when you're in labor and you forget the last labor, and when it starts again, you go, no, it's too late. I don't want to do this anymore, right? And so, like, it's a bit too late when you make that decision. And so here we were in the middle of moving, got everything in, all that sorted, just started to unpack, ready to launch one of my latest events that I'm still putting together. And my daughter, so I live in Shell Cove now, which is down south, an hour and a half down south from Sydney. And my daughter has an accident in the street, falls over in the rain on non-slip material on the side of the road, and breaks her kneecap in 3. And an hour before an ambulance comes, surgery the next day, now in a brace for like 6 weeks, can't bend her leg, all the jazz, right? And who's the only one that doesn't work for the man and can work from anywhere? So hence I'm at her house. This is her kitchen table and I'm sitting at her house. So these are the things that you do, right? But because of that, there's been a lot of stuff going on in our world, right? Like we're still unpacking. I've got a business. My partner's got a beautiful business, and I'm looking after my daughter, and we're traveling backwards and forwards because I just can't sleep here because unfortunately she snores like a chimney because she's got to lay on her back. And so I couldn't cope. I actually decided that it was better to drive an hour and a half backwards and forwards every day and sleep in my own bed than it was to sleep with her. So you can imagine that there's stuff going on that we're shuffling some of the systems in the back of our business, for a fresh launch in January. There's a lot going on, right? So if anyone's watching, I actually can't see a thing because I'm actually on my phone, not on my phone, I'm on my laptop, and I don't actually get to see. So let me see if anyone, there you go. I'm going to watch. I've got some lovely people on there. Love for you to say hi in the chat so that I can see you, because now I've got my phone set up. And hashtag reflect, to reflect on what's going on for you. Hey Marianne, lovely to have you here. Hashtag what's going on for you. So hashtag reflect, right? What's going on for you emotionally that may be a really challenging time for you. Now what happens is we have generally, hand up, hey Yasmin, lovely to have you here too. I think you were supposed to have a call with me and something went on. You need to book that call in. We were conditioned to be good girls, right? We're being conditioned to be people pleasers. Generally because women have got this beautiful, nurturing energy. We've got this, natural feminine energy. Not all of us, but the majority of women that I know have got a natural, innate, caring, loving, supportive, feminine flow energy to them. And so that can be, where we are naturally serving individuals, and so that can be used, over abused. It can be taken advantage of, and it can be taken advantage of by us because we're conditioned to believe that we have to look after everyone. And so here we are, older women, maybe some kids in tow, older kids, and we're still looking after everyone and leaving ourselves, hey Irene, leaving ourselves as the last to process our emotions, to really be present, to be comfortable with our own desires, to be in a state of, gentle wisdom and the opportunity to be open to that wisdom, right? Because we need to be in stillness to be able to hear that wisdom that is our natural birthright, that beautiful divine intuition that we are naturally able to connect with. But when we are listening to the busyness of the world and we've got everybody else's information that we're serving all of these people, we don't give ourselves that time so Marianne's busy, so I came to work an hour and a half early to take the pressure off of rushing today. Yeah, awesome. And so it's that opportunity, right, to reflect. How am I feeling? What's going on for me? What do I need to express? And this is the challenge, right? Because we're also being unconsciously, we've been conditioned to suppress our emotions, that they're not valid, that that we need to be silent and not express them. So we are naturally suppress ourselves just in case they're rejected, or just in case, like we go into this space of we won't be loved if we actually, people knew who we were inside. And the other part of this is that we're actually conditioned that if we do share our emotions, that somehow we are being bitches. We're being, nasty, or, angry and aggressive. And so we then think that to be able to express our emotions, we have to go into that space. And actually, we don't. We can be in a beautiful place of neutrality, right? Where we're neutral and we're not being triggered by what's going on by people around us. And we're able to speak our truth with authority and with confidence and conviction, and in power, in this beautiful place of empowerment. And it takes some work, right? It takes some work to get past that conditioning, past all the unconscious programming, past all of the rejection and fear of being alone and not capable of experiencing love, or being out in our sovereignty. And so the first part of this is, and this is, I say the first part of this is to be present, right? To be present to how you're feeling. That can be a bit challenging in itself for some women, because being in our space of how am I feeling at the moment, when you may be numb to how your body's feeling, how you're feeling, what emotions are. I've got I think I've got a couple, like maybe 2 or 3 women in my Conscious Creator course at the moment that struggle with the word feeling, and actually not even just the wording, but feeling it in their body, because they've been conditioned to believe that they can't feel. If you hurt yourself, you can feel, right? It's no different to the feeling of anger, to the feeling of anxiety, to the feeling of overwhelm, to the feeling of sadness, to the feeling of love, to the feeling of motivation. We just need to shift our language and to recognize how we're feeling in the moment, and to give ourselves that moment to be in our own space, to allow ourselves to be, just to be, and to recognize how am I feeling at the moment, right? So one of the ways you can do this is to start what I call the 3 breaths. And the first breath is just breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. What that does is it gives you that moment to pause, right? It just gives you that moment to pause. So do it with me. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And just take a moment to notice how your body feels a little bit different. Even myself, I can feel my voice has changed. I feel a little bit more grounded. I'm more present to my body. Just take that moment. How am I feeling? Even giving it a little bit more time and going, okay, where is this feeling that I'm feeling? Where in my body? right now I can feel my solar plexus, right? The middle, just under the rib cage. And if I could give this feeling a color, what is the color? What's the color of this feeling? And what memory pops? So just giving yourself that moment. The more you sit with your emotions, the more you can actually recognize them, the more you can start mastering. Now, once you start recognizing your own emotions, this is where, you know, the mastery comes in, and it goes from being able to recognize them to recognizing, are these my emotions? Our unconscious, our mind, is programmed from birth. It was like this, the brainwave frequency of a child is in hypnotic energy. It's just being programmed, like literally programmed, to recognize what's in its environment. Is it safe? So it's looking at the people around. This is how you smile. This is how you use your mouth. This is how I interact with people. I look at people in the eye, or I don't, depending on culture. I use my mouth this way, so I'm speaking in English. You know, if I was speaking Mandarin, for example, my mouth would move a different way. So all of these things, so that we can recognize how to behave in a human body, right? With this spirit that came, oh my gosh, I'm confined. I'm in this limitation, right? Like, oh my gosh, where is my boundaries, right? Where am I? Is this my hand? Like all these things. And we start, so these things are good things. We learn how to walk. We learn how to use our hands. My hands get very expressive when I'm talking. And we also recognize, in my family, this is how we are in relationship with each other. We either give lots of love, lots of connection, lots of hugs, lots of kisses, or we don't. There's arguing, there's suppression, there's anger, there's all of these things. And these things, if this is the way your family was, are being imprinted into your body. Then on top of that, whoever's the caregiver of you, don't do this, don't do that, because I said so, do as you're told, blah, blah, blah. And you start making your own decisions of how you should behave and what you should be doing. And this is the way I behave to be a good girl, and this is how I behave if I'm being punished. And so you learn what's right and what's wrong in your family. And that becomes a pattern, gets locked in, and then it's so locked in that as we grow into adults, that part of us doesn't know time, doesn't know we've grown up, and it stays there. And so when we're making decisions, and if you've been brought up to suppress your emotions or not to feel or whatever, and it's all very mind-based, which is most of us, right? Because these days, we grow up in a very masculine-orientated world where it's all mind-based. You then totally forget your feelings or see them as secondary and start making assumptions about who you are and invalidate your own belief systems. So now, marry that up with a relationship, marry that up with someone that you want to trust and love and be vulnerable with, and you don't know how to be vulnerable with yourself, so how can you be vulnerable with someone else that's also been conditioned to be in this same sort of situation? Two very dysfunctional people trying to love and support and live harmoniously. You can see why a lot of relationships break up, right? They break up because we are conditioned not to know how to live in a healthy environment and not to know how to express our feelings. And so how do you move from that into a healthy relationship, finding your soulmate, like a soul aligned partner that we all know innately within our body that there is this other being, and there's several, right? But there is a connection between you and another being, that you can have this love and support and amazing fun and excitement and joy and just actually have a blissful life. They are out there for you. It is not just for some people. As you know, if you've been following me for a while, 51 years old, and I went to the beach after being online for way too long. I was online like for 12 hours or some ridiculous thing because I was doing a course, brain fried, just moved to Shell Harbour in the middle of COVID, so I didn't know anyone, right? We were only just coming out of the space of like feeling comfortable being outside and all that jazz. And I decide I will go to the beach because I lived very close to the beach. I will go to the beach and ground and get my feet in the sand before I actually go and make my dinner. Went to the beach, only one on the beach, I thought. And who walks past but my beautiful soul-aligned partner, Tim. Make peace. Make peace, right? Who has a surname like that? I still blow out, right? When you are aligned with your higher self, your future self gives you those nuggets, right? Now, how that happens is it actually means you've got to align your unconscious patterning as well. Because if your unconscious is still in this, I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, I'm invalid, I've been rejected too much and I'm totally broken, and so therefore I'm guarding myself from being broken and hurt again. If your unconscious is in that space still, do you think that you're going to listen or have, like the higher self is still there, your intuitive wisdom, your guides, all of the beings, all of the information that is more than this limited identity, still there knocking gently, whispering to you. But if your unconscious patterning is still running the show, then you will not hear it or you will not listen. Mastery is when all of those pieces come together. When your unconscious has cleared all that junk out of the way, so that your unconscious is there and aligned with your conscious, that part of you that's like hanging in there every day going, oh, I might do this, I might do that, blah, 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 and making decisions and discernments and judgments and all that sort of stuff. When they come together with the higher self, man, that is when those miracles happen. That's not just for one person. That is for all of us. We just have to listen. So my whole thing at the moment, my whole mission is to support women. I'm really focused at the moment because I'm a creator, right? I have created not only having this beautiful relationship with Tim, I've created, multiple six-figure business. Like 3 years it's taken me, right? That's actually, it's been about 3 years. I had a health challenge that I breezed through. Most people would go, oh my God, you had a 4.5 centimeter brain tumor? Yes, I did. And it was fucking amazing. It was an unbelievable experience. Not many people can say that, right? These are the major things that happen. Oh my gosh, all the little things that happen on a regular basis. You know, I'm going through menopause at the moment, right? There's these ups and downs, but emotionally I am on point. A little bit emotional the last couple of days, but I'm allowing that energy to come through me, and just to I'm allowing my wildness to be present. I'm in tune with that wild woman that is aligned with her higher self and is walking the path that she was here and destined to be walking, right? So I'm totally focused at the moment on supporting women to find their soul aligned partner. That's what my mission is. I'm putting my blinkers on to everything else, and I'm just tuning in, because if I've done it, then I know that there are other women out there that I want to support to have the same experience. Now, I have run an event, what do you call it, a course, twice now, as a beta course called Call in the One, and I'm still tweaking it, right? There's a couple of women in there and there's one in particular that I'm watching, because I think that she met a guy, and then she chose to change her boundaries, right? And so they separated through this experience. But she was saying, oh my gosh, like total neutral, didn't feel rejected. She was like, saw him afterwards, felt really empowered, didn't feel bad, you know, like just all these amazing things. And this other guy that she's known for 25 years has just reached out to her, and he's chasing her because she's holding this beautiful space of being quite empowered and standing in what she believes in, right? And she said it's really interesting watching this guy chase her, and she's like holding her strength, holding her boundaries, not going back into the good girl or the people pleaser and all that sort of stuff. So really, really cool. I'm just watching this and watching the magic happen, right? What I can see is one of the first things about calling in a beautiful soul aligned partner is that you need to have released the energy from the previous relationships, right? Or relationship. There's some stuff that can get caught up in our energy field that is just holding us back and weighing us down like boots, right? And so that's why I created a 5-day container, right? 5-day, I'm calling it an alignment retreat. It's called Calling in the One. It's coming very soon. I think we've got like 9 days or 8 days until it starts. It's going to go through a process. We're going to do a whole heap of stuff, because you've got to understand who you are first, because your boundaries can be from that inner child that's still freaking out about not feeling loved or rejected or not validated, right? So if your boundaries are coming from hurt and pain, it's not going to work, because you're just going to get more of the same. So this is a process of clearing those things, understanding who you are underneath it, clearing those things, becoming neutral, being able to speak your truth, so that you then are more in alignment. Your frequency is radiating out this empowered woman ready for this beautiful partner to be in your life. So it's called Boundaries of Love. It's $97 for 5 days, right? Ready for next year to clear this energy so that you can really beautifully step into 2024 knowing that you are neutral to all of that, and you can draw in. It's not about finding your partner, it's about them finding you, because you are vibrating this beautiful frequency out, right? So We will put the link into the comments so that you can go in. I think because it's a sensitive, it's a sensitive topic, I'm not going to go in there and put yes please, right? It's a sensitive topic, so I'll put the link in so that no one else knows that that you're linking on there. We have all got issues around boundaries, ladies. I'm telling you, it's something that is a continuous. The more you grow, the more you understand yourself, the more you understand your boundaries and you can express them, and they change, right? They change as you grow and you mature and you become more aligned with your intuitive wisdom, right? And stuff happens in your life. So we'll put the link in the thing, in the comments, and if you're ready for this one little step, clearing that stuff out of the way so that you're more in alignment with yourself and understanding who you are, that's when you're going to be able to call someone in or actually be in that beautiful relationship that you may already have, but you're not quite expressing the way, the stuff that's needed. Irene's just throwing it in. Thank you so much, Irene. Take care, ladies, and we will catch you next time. See ya.